First of all, I want to say greetings, and I know it's kind of late, especially on the East Coast time, but just couldn't sleep, so I decided to get up and definitely put some information out for you, and just to make it educational and to just break down some things that I hope will enhance you in Freemasonry and that benefits you along the way. I hope that any information I've put out would encourage you to be the best Mason you can be, encourage you to help you build up your jurisdiction, your lodge, regardless um, of ethnicity. I just hope and pray that any information I put out would definitely encourage you to be the best Mason, the best Eastern Star you can be. And that's my hope. That's my prayer. And today, I'm just going to share a little information with you that I find that I come across, and I hope that it will benefit you in the long run as you continue your Masonic career, as you continue to move as a Mason. I'm going to get some more light. Give me just a second. Yeah, that's a lot better. Give me a little bit more light. There you go, in the background. So, that's what that's going to be about tonight. So, my topic, my first topic of discussion, is going to be something that was shared with me today from Grandmaster from Florida. I call him Brother Bowtie. For those who know him, um, and he shared some information with me today as he and I was talking. He said, either we are going to be brothers or we are going to be enemies. And if we choose to be enemies, let me know so I can separate myself and get from around you. I started thinking of that. That really resonated, that really stayed with me all day as I was beginning my journey for the day. And I was like, wow. I said, text, send that to me. Send that to me because that was that was kind of eye opening for me. Because you get on this channel here, I get all sorts of people just tuning in and leaving a comment. Some are positive, some are negative. I can take it either way. But what I found strange is that I get a lot of us. I get a lot of us, coming on talking about you're not a Mason and just stuff I've already dealt with in the past. But I would say this, as it was stated to me, either we're going to be brothers or we're going to be enemies. That's cut and dry. And I say that because we can no longer sit idly by and just accept things as they are. And I say that because who told you that I was clandestine? Who told you that I was bogus? Who told you that I was not a Mason? Who told you that those other organizations, those other Freemasons are not Mason? Who told you that? Who lied to you? Who lied and told you that if you was not mainstream of Prince Hall that you was not a Mason? Who lied to you? Who said that you have to have a charter from the Grand Lodge of Scotland, the Grand Lodge of England, the Grand Lodge of France? Or who lied to you and said that if your charter didn't come from either those Grand Lodges that you were not a Mason? Who lied to you and said that if you're not recognized by the UGLE or by mainstream or by Prince Hall that you were not a legitimate Mason? Who lied to you and told you that? Now, granted, there are Grand Lodges out there that even I don't mess with. But I respect those brothers. That's their journey. I'm not going to interfere with that. However, who's been lying to us all along? Who made the rules of Freemasonry to keep us divided? Who set those rules in play? Who said that there could only be one Grand Lodge in the state? Who made that rule? And why do we have to abide by that rule? Who made the rule that says that when Grand Lodges are formed, you need to be done by 3 other regular Grand Lodges? Who made that rule? Because somebody been lying to us, and we've been falling for the okie-doke too long, and we don't even get along. And when I say we, I'm just speaking about brothers I see coming down the street, brothers I have conversation with. We can agree to disagree, but that's the strangest thing to me. Somebody's been lying to us, and we continue to build on the lie. We're so quick to forgive others, but we won't forgive those who look like us. I am not your enemy, but I'm not going to sit idly by also and just let you just dump on other individuals. No. Masonry, as we practice it, is a unionized, or not unionized, a Europeanized system of Freemasonry. It is. However, as you indulge yourself in the history of Freemasonry, not the European side, in a book for you to read. But you have to go get that. You have to do your own research. You have to go beyond your own Grand Lodge. You have to get outside that box and find out for yourself, because I did that, and I was like, man, Masonry is beautiful. After I read the book, The Harem's Key, and those gentlemen that did the book, that did the research in the book, in the beginning were not Freemasons. They became Freemason afterwards. So, in knowing that, I decided to do my own research. I decided to indulge myself and to find out things for myself. And, some things was pretty and some things were not. So I'm not gonna just jump into something and be like, wow, really? No. Because somebody's been lying to us, and we've been just falling for it, just at each other for no reason at all. So I want you to think about this for a moment. When you brothers are calling each other clandestine or bogus, when you're going back and forth, stop for a moment and look at that person. Just for a moment. Have a decent conversation with that individual. You may find a friend. I'm just saying. You may find a friend. We can no longer sit by and allow people to divide us on simple stuff. We can't do that anymore. I don't care what jurisdiction you're in. We cannot sit by and allow people to divide us on simple stuff. We're going to agree to disagree on some things. I'm cool with that. However, somebody's been lying to us for a long time. And they got us calling each other clandestine, bogus. They got us looking at each other from the left eye. And they got us doing and calling each other these names which we shouldn't do. That's what they have us doing. And I want to encourage you to do your own research. I'm going to share this with you. And I think I shared it once before. This right here. This right here. You're probably wondering, what is this that you're holding up? What is it? I hope you can see it. Okay? This is called the Great Book of Divine, the Code of Human Behavior. It's from Egypt. It's from Egypt. It has 77 commandments on here. 77, and they've all been translated. And I'm like, wow. I've had this for a while. I went to an African store, and I saw that, and I was like, wow. And the guy was telling me, yeah, that's been translated. And I was reading it, and it has the 10 Commandments in there, and it's in there. But it has a lot more. It's 77. It's not 10. It's 77, brother. And I'm quite sure there's more out there that I hadn't come across. But the ideal is that we have allowed somebody to hook us, and we haven't we're not able to see, you know. And I go back to this is my little handy book right here. You know, this is the Masonic Law book. And I go through it and I read it and I'm like, wow, okay. And then I ask my question. I ask this question all the time. You know, why can't we have our own? And when I say we, I'm talking of the Black Ancient Free and Accepted Masons. And I say that because that's the United Front. If you've looked on some of my YouTube pages, you will see that there's a red, black, and green flag with John G. Jones in the background. Chicago, New Jerusalem Lodge. I want to say thank him for bringing forth that. So in having that flag shows a united front, saying simply, you are not my enemy. So we have to take masonry, and you have to make masonry yours. It was yours in the beginning. You have to take it and make it yours. You have to go do your research on it and see exactly the origin of Freemasonry. And when you find that out for yourself, man, you'll be like, really? Yes, really. And I know for myself, that was one of those eureka moments, eureka, I found it. I was like, that is so interesting. Look at there. Just so much information. I was pretty much overwhelmed. But to have it for myself before me and reading it for myself, I was like, okay, I got this. The process is that we have allowed people to tell our history instead of us telling our own history. I don't care what jurisdiction you're in. You need to tell your history. If it's yours, own it. Outright. Own your history. Own your story. Too many times we allow people to tell our story, and then when we look up, it's out there. Be it good, bad, or indifferent, the story is out there. Now you're trying to reclaim it. And this has been going on for a long time. So we need to stop battling each other and start uniting with each other. I'm not saying that, as I said before, forget about the lodge visitation stuff. I don't have to visit your lodge. But what I want to do is build with you. I think every Mason, be it black or white, Filipino, they want to build with you. They want to build. When they find out that you're a Mason, they want to build with you. But what happens is that we get off on some tantrum sometimes. And that's the sad thing. A brother said on one of my posts, he said, I'm in the same state as you in. And no matter how long you've been a Mason, you're clandestine. I was like, okay. It didn't bother me. However, I'm in the same state as you, and you said that. But when shit hit the fan, and it does hit the fan, nobody's gonna care what lodge you in, what Grand Lodge you in, because all they're gonna see is that you're a Mason, and that's all the public sees. And here we are debating who's regular, who's irregular. Hey, if your Grand Lodge doesn't recognize a particular lodge, leave that alone. That's their business. It's their business. Just leave it alone. Grow your own jurisdiction. Grow your own lodge. Increase the peace. As cliche as that may sound, but that's what we have to be doing. And along the way, if you're able to forge that relationship with other brothers. Hey, Brother Amwa. I'm going to come to you in a minute, Brother Amwa. But if you can forge that relationship, man, it's a beautiful thing. It is totally a beautiful thing when you're able to forge that relationship. And I say that because I have friends. I'm not going to say it. I have brothers who are of different nationalities. I have them. I enjoy their companies. We have lunch together. We fellowship together. We talk Masonic. We talk Masonry together. We talk philosophy together. We do all of that. And that is where you're going to find that brother Mason. That person that you can call and say, hey, look, this is what, can you help? Can you, what, this is just opening and closing. You're going to find that brother, that person outside of your lodge. And they're going to be more than just your lodge brother. They're going to become closer than that, because I know I've found some that are a lot closer than that. Really, a lot closer than that. And I remember when I first came into Freemasonry, and the lodge that I joined was an uncharted lodge by a Grand Lodge. Yeah, I was disappointed. When I say uncharted, it was just a group of brothers who were Masons, and it was just them meeting. Now, if you want to say that's clandestine, yes, that is, according to Masonic law. So what I did was, a sister, peace, yes, how you doing, brother? So a sister knew me, and she introduced me to some other brothers. Greeting, brother Maddox. She introduced me to some other brothers, and I joined this lodge. That was over 32 years ago. I haven't looked back. I've enjoyed this journey. I've met some great people in Freemasonry. Outside of my lodge, outside of my jurisdictions and my travels, so he joined. To me, that person joined with bad intentions in the beginning. The investigation team did not do a good job in investigating. Having a job, as far as being able to take care of himself, as far as what is he doing with his life, what does he want to, if that brother doesn't show where he's actually employed, where he's actually doing something with his life, yeah, that is somebody I may have to say, you're going to have to wait. Because you must realize, when you are asking to become a Mason, you must already be in the process of being a good man. Period. You must already be there. And when I say be there, that's the process: having a job, being stable, being able to make your meetings, being able to participate in extra activities outside of your meetings. You know, you have to already be, that's how that's going to work. That's how that works. And that's the thing to me, you really have to consider and look at. But a lot of us don't. Then investigating team bring people into your lodge, and before you know it, your lodge is tore up. So in the process, you've created an enemy. Able to pay dues. That's right. You got to be able to pay them dues, bruh. That's how your lodge survives. People say, well, you're selling degrees. Well, when you pay dues, it is what it is. It is of your own free will and accords. So I don't care what jurisdiction you go to, you're going to pay dues to be a member of that Grand Lodge, of that lodge. And then that Grand Lodge sends your name up to the Grand Lodge. So I messed that up. So if you're going to be a Mason, you're going to have to pay dues to your lodge. Then that lodge sends your name up to the Grand Lodge. And you are on now you're on roll. Not only in your Blue Lodge, but also in the Grand Lodge. So that's how it works in this jurisdiction. It may work a little different in yours. So, we have to take everything we do in Freemasonry, take it serious. Don't just sit idly by and allow somebody to come into your lodge and just tear it up, because you're too afraid to speak up. And then when you look around, all the brothers that you thought was great, all the brothers you thought was good, all of them are gone, because you sit idly by and allow somebody that you brought in and tear it up because y'all buddies. No. My buddy, my friend, is not going to come in my lodge or a lodge that I'm in and tear it up. It ain't going to happen. It shouldn't happen. But I believe that it has. I can say that. And that's the thing we have to look at. If you are looking for someone to come into your lodge, if a person wants to join your lodge, please, investigating team, investigate. go to their home or have them to come to you, but I prefer going to their home. I want to know how that brother is living, you know. And then when I see how he's living, then I can say, you know, this brother has a good job, he's able to pay the dues, he's able to participate. That brother will make a good fit for this lodge. And that's what we have to consider. That's how we have to do it, you know. And the funny thing is that in this journey we call Freemasonry, when we don't take the time to give a brother a call just to see how they're doing, we don't know what they're going through. So I'm saying to you, if you know you haven't seen a brother at a lodge meeting, you know that that brother usually attend those meetings, call them. Don't text them. Call them. Leave a message. Hey, bro, I'm checking in on you. I just want to know if you're okay. I hadn't seen you in a lodge meeting in a while. I know we haven't talked, but I just want to know how you doing. Be concerned about your brothers. Be concerned about your sisters. You know, sisters. You know, worthy matron, associate conductress, associate matron. You know, those 5 points. Give your members a call. Check on them. You never know what a person is going through and they can't converse with you. But if you call them, you'll probably get an earful. You'll probably say, "Oh man, I sure wish I wouldn't have called." But this is what we're all about. We're all about helping that next person. And if you have been initiated into any of the appending bodies of Freemasonry, what I will call the college degrees of Freemasonry, be it on the York Rite or Scottish Rite side, there are some things you see in your obligation that you know, it's deep, you know. Go back and reread what you said. And you may have to question what you said. Are you willing to do those things? You know, especially the Knights Templar degree. You know, reread that and see what it says. And think about it. If you are a KT, you know. So my hope is that somewhere along this line, somewhere as we travel, you know, upon the level of time to which all travelers travel, that we will find that brother, that we will find that sister along the Lambeth and really get to know who they are. It's plain and simple. Get to know who they are. Get to know the members in your lodge. Get to know the members in your chapter. You will be amazed at what a person has to offer. But we usually don't do that. We just want the bodies there. Yeah, you know, yeah, he's a member. Yeah, yada, yada. But get them active. When a person comes into your lodge, give them something to do. Just don't give them tickets in their hands. I said over and over again. You lose a person. This is why in this jurisdiction, we do a couple of things. One thing is when a brother comes in, you know, and he's sitting, you know, where he sits in a lodge, and we give them their handout when they first get initiated. He gets it, you know. The process is that when you come back to the next meeting, not only are you going to be Q&A, you're going to have a place in that inner apprentice lodge. You're going to do some work because this is how the lodge is broken down. Let's look at that word masonry. Masonry means that you are a person at work. And if you're a person at work, then when you go to your lodge, that's a place of work. Inside the lodge is what we call the quarries. And that's where you're going to put your tools to work. So you're going to use your 24-inch gauge. Not only are you going to do it according to what we teach, but you're going to be able to break down some things, some hard things. You're going to take that mallet and be able to chip and to do, and then you're going to take that chisel and you're going to work that thing out. That's what it's all about. Working in the quarries. When you leave your meeting, when you leave that Eastern Star meetings after you have talked about those 5 points, when you leave your Masonic meeting after you've worked over in the quarries as an enter apprentice, that's when you're going to say, wow, okay, I can get with this. You know, I can get with this. I tell you, I'm going to share this with you. I'm working on a project Man, it's special. I'm not kidding you. I'm working on a project. It's special. It's gonna change some things, and I can share it with you right now. I'm working on a black Masonic ritual. And when I say black, brother, yeah, I'm going all in. And this is a Masonic ritual. This is not just your good feel good book. No, this is a Masonic ritual. And you heard it right here tonight. I mean, I already got the paperwork. I'm almost done. I just gotta take it to print and have. I'm talking about reclaiming your own. And when I say that, I get tired of people writing my history. I do. I don't know how you feel. I just do. And Masonry just didn't start on 1776 or 1775 or 1770. It just didn't start then. The system for which we practice here in America, that may have started it. That may be the kickoff. But Masonry was happening a lot, all over the place. The only thing is that those individuals organized it in such a way today was going to make a profit off of it. And you're like, well, how is they going to make a profit off of it, off of Freemason? How was they going to do that? Well, if you have a Scottish Rite Volume 1, you read the history, it would tell you that when they met at Apple Tree Tavern, that they was getting drunk. And they had decided that they will monopolize Freemasonry by saying that if you didn't get a charter from them, then you would have to pay. It says it right there. I'm not, this is what they wrote in the Scottish Rite volume. I think it's Scottish Rite volume 1. So if you are a Scottish Rite Mason, you have the one and two volumes, get it and read it for yourself. You ain't gotta say, there go that brother, he lying. No, read it for yourself, and then you can hit me up any way you want to, and we can have that discussion. But that's how it goes. And brothers and sisters, when you demit from your lodge or your chapter, and you may feel a little scorn, you know what? You don't have to tell the world. Just let it be. Just move on. That's right. You're telling the truth, brother. Just just move on. When you feel a little scorn, when you feel a little hurt, because whatever the reason may be, and you're no longer in that chapter or you're no longer in that lodge, and you decided to admit you moved on, let that be. Ain't doing you no good. You all mad. You all upset because I've known brothers to demit from a lodge, go to another jurisdiction and badmouth the jurisdiction they left. Just what? It's over. It's done. I was there. I enjoyed it when I was there. It got bitter. I'm through with it. I've moved on. But don't come back and say, well, y'all was clandestine and you wasn't doing that work and you weren't, you know what? If you didn't speak up while you was there, then be quiet now. If you did not speak up when you was a part of that lodge or that chapter, now that you have demitted, why are you speaking up now? Ain't no need you saying anything now. They still doing what they doing. Period. You have to do Teddy Pendergrass. I think I better let it go. Just let it go. Leave it alone. It's not even worth your time. And I'm going to share this with you. If a brother is demitting from your lodge, and he is an officer, not only in your lodge, but your grand lodge, but I'm talking about your lodge, he can't demit. If a brother is demitting from your lodge, and he's an officer, he can't demit until elections time come around. He's an elected officer. Now, it depends on what you abide by. It really does. And if you use Maccas jurisprudence to govern your jurisdiction, then you can find that in Maccas jurisprudence up under demit. And it will it tells you a brother who's a member of your lodge and he's an elected officer shouldn't put in a demit. The demit should be Worshipful Master, Junior Warden, Senior Warden, Secretary and Treasurer. One of y'all want to demit, right? You put in a demit, right? That demit comes before the lodge to vote on it because you are an elected officer. The best thing you should do is wait. You might as well just wait. The same thing goes for a Grand Lodge officer. You a Grand Lodge officer in your state and you want to demit. You can't do it until Grand Session. Hand it over. Poof, be gone. Do your thing. Disappear. Houdini, I'm out. But no, y'all want to just, but you know what? See what your Constitution says. See what your bylaw says. You know, that's something here I would tell any brother to do. When you become a Mason, a Master Mason in your jurisdiction, whatever you do, make sure you get a copy of your bylaws and your Constitution. Read them and hold those elected officers to the Constitution, to the bylaws. Hold their feet to the fire. Because for some reason or another, they've been doing things so wrong for so long, it just seems so right and so tight. And it's not. Because they have not been held to a higher level. You know, because when you're a Grand Master, when you're a Grand Lodge officer, Worshipful Master, or officer in your lodge, or officer in your chapter of the Order of the Eastern Star, you got to carry yourself a certain way. You can't do everything everybody else does. You can't. When you are an officer, elected officer in your lodge, your chapter, Grand Lodge, Grand Chapter, you can't do what everybody else does. You can't be out just tossing it up like everybody. No, you can't. You may have to just go to your room with your own little circle and say, you know what, I'm just going to have a drink and just chill. You can't just be just tossing them back. You all lit up. No. You got to realize who you are. You know, not only as an elected officer, but I'm talking to the common brother too, but especially the elected officers. You just can't be turning up everywhere you go. Because of who you are as a Grand Master, as a Deputy Grand Master, as a Junior Warden, a Senior Warden, as a Grand Matron, as those elected officers of the Grand Chapter, the Grand Lodge, and Lodge. We have to set that standard, that tier. So when that other person who's not yet a Worshipful Master, but when they get into the line to become, they have an example there. But if you're the example of getting towed up all the time, your lodge, your Grand Lodge is not going to be around for a minute. You know, it's not. And then you have to consider that. You really have to consider that. So because I had to get that out there, because I do know of people, you know, who have demitted, and they wonder why the lodge wouldn't give them a demit. That's more than likely why. You know, you just don't type up your own demit, by the way. You don't. Your Grand Lodge or your lodge should have a demit. The process for which we have here in this jurisdiction is that if a person is going to demit, he or she needs to demit from their chapter or lodge. You don't demit from a Grand Lodge. You don't. You demit from your lodge. Your lodge then takes your demit. They vote on your demit. Okay? They take your demit. They vote on your demit. You have to make sure all your dues and everything are paid up. Make sure you're in good standings. So when they vote on the demit, they can just say, okay, you know what, bro? If you want to leave, it's of your own free will and accord, just like you came upon your own free will and accord. You're free to go. The Worshipful Master or the worthy matron and secretary or the brother secretary, they sign your demit. And you say, okay, great. It's been fun while it was lasting. You go on to your other lodge or your other chapter. Now, it depends on how your demit is worded. Some lodges want to know what other lodge you're going to on the demit, so to have it on there. What lodge are you demitting to? Or are you just demitting from the fraternity? It's on there. It just depends on what your jurisdiction say. This is why it's important that your jurisdiction have things in order. It's very you got to have things in order. I'm gonna share this with you. This book right here, this book right here from my jurisdiction, it has everything in it. Everything a brother is going to need, be it a demit, be it how the law should do its minutes, be it our constitution, our bylaws, study sessions and lectures that brothers should be receiving. If a brother want a copy, he gets it all here. It has the study guides for the apprentice, for the fellow craft, and for the master masons. In this book right here, it breaks down everything that a person in this jurisdiction needs to know. Plain and simple. Now, and I would say every jurisdiction needs to have something like that. Even to the point of saying, what happens when a brother passes away? Do your jurisdiction have stuff written down to when a brother passes away? What should they do? What's the process? There should be a process, as far as who's being contacted, who's the lead contact person. Do you need your sisters of the order to help you secure food for the family and that stuff? Do your Grand Lodge make a donation to that family for that brother who passes away? I would say this, and I'm only speaking in regards to my jurisdiction. We have such a thing in process. It's there. A brother passes away, here's what we do. All the way down. Check this, check that, check that. And once it's done, it's done. It's over. We have done what we're supposed to. We contact the family, want to make sure the family is okay with having a Masonic burial. And we go from there. This is what we call it, funeral information. It's a guide, and here's your, hey, this is your checklist. It says 24 hours. I don't know if you can see it or not. A complete check supposed to take place. Those are the things that I would say every Grand Lodge should have in their archives. You should have it somewhere nearby that you can grab it and you can look and see it and say, okay, this is what needs to take place. And then I would say that every Grand Lodge, every lodge, needs to have a group of brothers and sisters who know how to do the burial. We have the power. We have the power to be powerful if we stick together as one. Absolutely, we do. We do have the power. We do. However, how many of us are willing to do that? How many of us is willing to stick next to a brother that's not in your jurisdiction? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to, let's say for instance, you're in a crowd and I'm gonna speak to my Prince Hall brothers. You're in a crowd with your members from your slave mentality. You're in a crowd, you with your lodge brothers, and you're out for dinner. And you know that this brother is part of a jurisdiction that is not recognized by yours. But you know him and you guys have fellowship, you hung out, you chatted along or whatever. And he comes in. What do you do? Do you say, hey, brother such and such, come on over, let's have a stogie, let's smoke wine? Let's have some yak. Do you do that, or do you just say, hey, all right, I'll holler at you later, okay? Do you shun them on? I would still speak. Well, hey, that's a great thing. Not only do I think you should speak. If the brother comes by himself or with someone else, another brother, I would say bring them into the group. Ain't nobody, you don't have to talk masonry, just bring them in and have that great fellowship. What's up, Jonathan G? Bring them on in. Have that that relationship. But for us to shun him or push him aside, man, that does nobody any good. It's the crab in the bucket. It's the jacked up mentality. It is all about the fellowship. I would hope that brothers get that. You know, it's all about the fellowship. And when we can grab that and hold on to it, man, masonry is beautiful. It is. It is truly beautiful. And, you know, for me, I don't want to sugarcoat it. You know, I don't want to sugarcoat it. This is why in our jurisdiction, what we try to do for brothers is to be, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Open, you know, to them, you know, in regards to Freemasonry and what it's really all about. I ain't trying to sugarcoat and say, yeah, you know what, bro? Blah, blah. No, here's Masonry. Now, what do you have to offer Masonry, and what does Masonry have to offer you? Here it is. You know, some brothers like the esoteric and the esoteric side of Freemason, which is deep. Even I enjoy that. Some brothers just want the fellowship with Masonry. Just because your Grand Lodge doesn't recognize their brother as being a Mason, doesn't mean that they're not human. It doesn't mean they're not your brother. I'm just saying. Because I know, and I'm going to share this with you. There's a brother, not in my jurisdiction at all, needed a place to stay, a place to sleep. And I opened my door to him. You know, my wife was like, "Are you what?" It's like, yeah, it'd be all right. Yeah, I did. I did. You know, and fed him. You know, I just told him, I said, look, I don't take care of grown men, but I will assist you. I do not take care of grown people, but I will assist you. I've done it multiple times. And it's not something you brag about, but this is something we do. It's just what we do as Masons. It's just what we do as human beings to another fellow human being. But especially my brother who's a Mason. Because to me that means something. I understand how you got from the enter apprentice to the fellow craft. I understand your travels. And that's what we have to look at when we are dealing with individuals who may not be in our jurisdictions. You know, that's how we have to conduct that. You know, so I would say that only because when we get down to the nitty gritty, bruh, we all going the same way, just taking a different path about getting there. So we can't just say, okay, here it is. No, that's not how we're gonna get down. Help, aid, and assist. That's who we are before we become a man. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's how we have to take it. We can't just, I'm not rolling like that. So I'm not getting down like that. That's why it's important to find out and be upfront with a brother. You gonna be my friend, you gonna be my brother, or are we gonna be enemies? And if we're going to be enemies, I need to be able to separate and get from around you. Period. I don't care what ethnicities you. I don't care who you are, black, white, whatever. You know, I need to move myself from around you. You know, plain and simple. I need people around me with positive energy. I need people around me that's going to help me to become better, hold me responsible. You know, a lot of times we see brothers do things, we like, oh, that's jacked up. But do you go to them and say, hey, bro, you know what? You're better than that. We're better than that. You know, and remind him of the organization for which he is a part of and for which she's a part of. That goes for the sisters too. You know, I see some of you turn it up also. This is for you too. You know how you get. She thinks she all that. You know, she hadn't been to a meeting in 3 weeks. 3 months. I don't know if we should let her back in or not. You don't know what that sister's going through. Give her a call just to say hi. You know, you never know. Hello, brother. I will be by and get a copy of that black ritual. Oh yeah, you know what? Getting back to the ritual, bruh, I'm hoping that that the ritual will be completed by the end of this year. It's taking me some time to really uh, do what I need to do with it. Look, the whole ritual is African. The whole ritual is dealing strictly with Africa Egypt. It deals with that. This is not going to be your average European ritual. I didn't want it that way. I wanted it to be dedicated to us. Period. This is dedicated to us. This is that ritual, you know. And it's funny. I was talking with a brother not long ago. It's a shame we all been through the same thing and have the same ignorance block between some of our jurisdictions. We are supposed to be the light of society. We're supposed to be. That's a good one. We're supposed to be. I think a lot of us are. I don't think, from what I've gathered, from what I've seen, I don't think we are as divided as it looks. And I would say that because of the people through my videos I've been able to contact and had conversations with, in regards to the various jurisdictions. And I don't think, I think it's all in leadership. I think when the organization reflects the leadership, you know, white folks know who we are. Oh yeah, they do. Come on, that's why I had to go do this. I had to go do this for me, okay? And I'll share it with the world. But I had to do it for me because a lot of times people write history and leave us out of history. They just write you out. You're not even nowhere in there. And I got tired of just picking up different rituals and I didn't see any. I read where the places were at, but when I seen the pictures in there, the pictures looked nothing like me. They didn't represent me. So I figured, well, heck, I can do that, you know. So I, I, I added that red, that black, and that green in there. I threw all of that in there, you know, and 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 I think, no, I know when it's completed, those who enjoy who they are, those who get a kick out of things like that, they're going to enjoy the ritual. They're gonna have some aha moments in that ritual because it's going to be all about you. That's what the ritual is going to be about. And it's not saying that someone from another race couldn't pick up the ritual and enjoy it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that in regards to this particular ritual, it's going to be all about you. Period. And that's I get a joy out of that. I read it when as I go through and I'm reading, I'm like, man, if I could have had this when I first came in, boy, I'd have been on fire. I'd have been like, this right here is fire. But hey, just like anything else, you have to go research it, get it yourself, and find out. You be like, oh, nobody never told me. But you have to go get it, you know. And this is why it's important that when you become that fellow craft, and then you get raised to the sublime degree of a master mason, that you begin to get yourself a library. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you, if you are an enter apprentice, start saving all the material you get, all the study sessions, all the lectures. You start saving it now. And then what you do, you get yourself a notebook with those sleeves and start putting them in there, man. And before you know it, you're going to have yourself a nice library, you know. And then you go to find different books. There are so many books out there you wouldn't believe on Freemasonry, you know. And you find those books. And I tell you, Manly P. Hall is one that I would recommend for any brother, especially after you become a master mason. You know, if you're an inner apprentice, stick with the basics. You're a fellow craft, stay in that lane. But when you get raised to a degree of a master mason, get yourself a Manly P. Hall. I would say that. And then, brother, oh brother, it's a whole nother world. You know, that's when you get into the esoteric things, and he began to break down a lot of stuff that you don't necessarily get. I'll give Manly P. Hall that. I will. And I'm quite sure some of you have his book. How many of you have a book on Manly P. Hall? His works. You know? And Secret teachers of all ages. That's right. Absolutely. You know, Manly is the man. I'm gonna share this with you. Hold on. This is one I got. I thought that was pretty interesting. Brother picked this up for me when he was in New York, and it's deep. It is real deep, and I got to reading it, and I was like, wow. Check it out again now. This just sits on my desk. So every now and then I pick up something. I was like, okay, I'm gonna read through that. And you get to read, and you be like, wow, that's deep. I like that. You know, some of this stuff a lot of us probably already have, probably already know, and some we probably don't. You know, uh, there we see it all over the place. But do we really understand the snake that is wrapped around that staff with those two wings? Look that up. Look this emblem up. Look it up. Oh, that's all I'm saying. Look it up. You'll be surprised. You will be surprised. Also, check it out. I would say this. In your lodge, you should have a book that will help your members when they need things. You know, we never know when we're going to find ourselves in a bad situation. So this is a community resource directory. So if a brother or sister needs something, we should be able to direct them in a place to where they're able to get that. If we're not, if I can't do it for them, I need to be able to direct them where they can get the help they need. This is what this organization is all about. So I would encourage you, you know, your Grand Lodge, your brothers, your sisters, to find a community their own, you know, where they can find stuff, whether it be schools, daycare centers, all of that stuff. They're going to need that. You know, the sisters, the brothers, they're going to need that. So you should be able to have something where they would be able to grab that and get the assistance or the help they need. I'll tell you another book that I got that's pretty deep. Oh, shucks. Is it up here? Give me just a second. This one right here. This is another deep one right here. You know? And I was reading this, man. Woo! This gets deep. Some of you may already know about it, but this one here gets deep. You know? It gets real deep. It breaks down a whole lot of stuff. Especially if you're into the esoteric side of Freemasonry. This one right here just goes, you know what? Check this out. I'm gonna share this with you. Based on these, it says the 5 principles. It says, just for the day I will not worry. Just for today I will not get angry. Just for the day I will be honest. Just for today I will count my blessings. Just for today I will give love and show respect to every living being. You know, I likes that. Let me close that. I likes this. You know, for real. Oh, I missed that. Let me see what you said there, bro. Yep, 33 vertebrae. Ooh, 33. Man, I can go so much. I can get into that. But I can't. Man, if you are a 33rd degree, and this brother just posted about the 33 vertebrae, bro, I can't even go because I said I wouldn't do it. I can't even do it. Nope. As much as I want to. Dang, that's deep. Brothers just put that out there, you know. So look, I know it's been a while, my brothers, and I appreciate you being up this late. I don't on the East Coast, West Coast, you know, and I hope as always that you got that you've gotten something out of that, brother. Bruh, there's so much I can go on with that 33 you just popped up there, man. That's you threw the 33rd up there. Everybody ain't ready for that. But man, Jonathan, gee, why you, man? You got me thinking now, man. I don't even want to go. I, I don't even want to go right now. But I was looking for something else. I'll find it tomorrow probably. But look, as I get ready to sign off, brothers, sisters, I hope that you got some out of this, and that we continue to build. We can continue to build relationships, and I just want to send a big shout out to Grandmaster Copley for speaking with me today and sharing some great information about the things that are going on down there in Florida with the Grand Lodges there, and how they're able to come together and really build that bridge. And to my brother Rock 101, I'm not gonna, bro, as much as I want to blow up that damn bridge, as much as I just want to just blow it up. Anyway, hey, to everyone out there, I appreciate you, and leave a positive comment, and if it's going to be something negative, I'm deleting it. I'm not having anything negative go on this page. I'm deleting it all. So please, if you're going to put anything out there, put something positive out there. Masonic degrees of initiation corresponding to the journey of, serpent upon the 33rd vertebra of the human spine, the eye being the third eye of the perineal gland. You know what? Eric Goodman, bruh. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But everybody, you know what? Some things in this thing we call Freemasonry, it scares people. Some things in Freemasonry scares people. This is why they be like, oh, you guys devil worshippers and you're cultists and you do this and you do that. Bruh. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. That's like you just throw it out there. Like, take that or let it alone. Yes, sir. You better believe it. That's what I'm saying. And this is what it's all about. Able to take that information and share that information and stop hogging it. What is it for me to be knowledgeable in Freemasonry and not able to share it and leave it with someone? That's what I want to do. I want to take everything I got and share it with people. Individuals, sisters and brothers who are looking to improve themselves in this thing we call the Eastern Star and Freemasonry. I want to give it all to you. I don't want to take nothing with me. I can't do anything with it when these eyes are closed, when I'm no longer able to breathe. I want to take everything I got and share it with everybody. And along the way, I hope to improve somebody's life. I hope to be able to leave something positive in the footprints of life for them. And maybe, just maybe, they will do the same for me. I don't know everything. Maybe the information that you have would help and inspire me along the way. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. The School of Lux. So that's what we all should be doing. That's what we all should be doing. Leave and leave information, give information away to someone. And because you've done that, you may inspire them. It was written that some of the mysteries of old couldn't handle that type of energy. Hell yeah. Hey, bro, some couldn't. Just couldn't handle the energy. And this is what's important. When you're able to handle the energy, and I think, a lot of us can handle it. I think we can. The ideal is are we willing to do it? Are we willing to take our time, sit down, and really do this? I'm not able to cross my legs like that, but but get down, get into it. How many of us are able to as Scripture says, occupy? Scripture, when renew your mind, Yes. Brother Gosberry, okay. Yes, absolutely. To renew your mind with useful knowledge. That's what we have to do. And I think when we get into that, when we begin to do that, man, it gets deep. It gets real deep. Be still and know that I'm God. Ooh, ooh, ooh. hey, hey, bro, some of us can't be still though. Some of us can't, man. Some of us just can't be still. And at times I'm like that. I ain't gonna lie. At times I'm like that. Can't be still. But you have to be still. You have to go into your quiet place and be still. And if you don't have one, go in your car and be still. But whatever you do, you're gonna have to take time out to get to know the Creator. And all you do, you know, and all you do, you're gonna have to get to know the Creator. Wow, I gotta start going back through this thing. I gotta start going back through this, man. This is knowledge is wealth. Wow. Read about Ralph M. Lewis and his father H. Spencer Lewis. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. Is that where they say that the Spencer is a Mason, if I'm not mistaken, and his son is the son of a Mason, so that's why they call the sons of Mason Lewis, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. Amorcmo. Okay, so as I for the fourth and fifth time get ready to sign off. I hope you've gotten some out of tonight. And if you can, I will say this: see if you can find yourself this. I hope I left it up long enough. It is called the Great Book of Divine. The Great Book of Divine. It is the code of human behavior. I hope that you will be able to find that poster. I did, and it was great. Brother Jonathan called me. Oh, okay. So that was great. Man, it breaks down a lot. I know that. So as I conclude tonight, please, we should not be enemies. We shouldn't. But if you find yourself wanting to be enemies, I'm going to have to separate myself from around you that can't have that energy in my life. So until we meet again, I want to say I appreciate you. Thank you. And I'm going to get ready to go. But, I want to make sure I say this correctly. Either we're going to be brothers or we're going to be enemies. And if you choose to be my enemy, let me know so I can separate myself and get from around you. I'm going to leave it at that until we meet again. Assalamu alaikum. And not only that, stay out them bushes and keep your light on. Peace and be well.